Psychology tells us that people who genuinely prefer staying at home over going out are often misunderstood. Society might call them antisocial, depressed, or even lazy. But if stepping through your front door and shutting the world out feels less like hiding and more like finally taking a deep breath, there's a powerful psychological reason behind it. You aren't avoiding life. You're practicing what environmental psychology calls restorative niche construction. While society insists you should be out mingling with the crowd, your brain probably has a refined regulatory system that knows exactly what it needs to function at its best. You don't dislike people. You just respect your own energy too much to waste it. If your home is your sanctuary, there are likely 5 rare personality traits you possess. First, you have a low tolerance for performative socializing. If you love staying home, you've probably noticed a familiar, painful pattern when you do go out. Most people aren't actually listening. They're just waiting for their turn to speak. Large social gatherings feel draining, not because you're shy, but because they're often full of superficial noise. You'd rather sit in silence than engage in a conversation where people are wearing masks, trying to impress each other, or pretending to care. Your home is the one place where you don't have to perform. You don't have to dress up, you don't have to force a smile, and you don't have to explain yourself. Authenticity matters so much to you that you'd rather be alone than surrounded by pretense. Second, you have high sensory intelligence. For many, a loud restaurant or a crowded street is just another Friday night. For you, it can feel like an assault on your nervous system. Research suggests that homebodies often score higher on sensory processing sensitivity. You notice noise, chaos, and environmental demands more intensely than most. When you stay home, you're not just sitting around, you're in control. You curate the lighting, the temperature, the sound levels. This isn't about fear, it's about optimization. You've learned that your brain functions like a high-performance computer. It works best when it isn't overheating from the input of 1,000 strangers. Protecting your energy explains why you avoid crowds, but it doesn't explain what you actually do with your solitude. That brings us to a trait most people overlook entirely. Third, you see your home as a laboratory of the self. Society might think you're doing nothing, but you're probably busier than anyone realizes. You're a crafter, a gardener, a writer, or a builder. Research on flow states shows that deep creativity thrives without interruptions. You love being home because that's where your tools are. That's where you nurture your garden, work on your art, or dive into complex ideas without someone asking what you do for a living every 5 minutes. You're not isolating yourself, you're incubating ideas. Fourth, you have a high peace threshold. Perhaps after a hectic youth or a draining job, you've realized that drama is the most expensive thing in the world, and you refuse to pay the price anymore. As we grow older, we simplify. We curate. You've probably had friends who only wanted to unload their trauma on you, or social circles that thrived on gossip. Staying home is your way of drawing a physical boundary against chaos. You've discovered that a quiet evening with a pet, a book, or a partner who understands brings more joy than a night out ever could. You're not lonely, you're peaceful. To a chaotic mind, peace may look like boredom. To you, it feels like freedom. Here's the truth. Loving your home isn't a weakness. It's a sign of self-sufficiency. Studies show that people who don't constantly seek social stimulation often report higher long-term satisfaction. Why? Because they're focused on inner growth. Your ability to be happy within your own 4 walls means you've built a life you don't need to escape from. You haven't withdrawn from the world, you've simply created a better one inside. If your home is your favorite place on earth, drop a little house emoji in the comments below. And if you enjoy messages like this, make sure you subscribe and stay connected so you don't miss the next video.